Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Welcome back for another video. I want to talk about silver's actual value. What is its real natural price? It's a really interesting and very hard concept to talk about because silver's price moves up and down every single day. So, for silver to have a stagnant measured retail value in a market, in an economy, what would it be? It's hard to talk about this because we're comparing silver's value to fiat currency in this subject, and fiat currency moves up and down in value every day as well. Yes, $1 is amounting to $1, but its purchasing power is rapidly decreasing because of inflation or hyperinflation. So can we put a measured value of fiat currency on silver? For the sake of this video, and most, silver, it's measured by 1 ounce spot price. But what really is 1 ounce of silver worth? If we stripped away fiat currency, stripped away our dollars, stripped away spot price, how much is 1 ounce of silver worth in an economy? We could even go farther to say how much is it worth in an industrial type of matter, technological matter, medical world, you know. They all have different uses and they all are very valuable, very precious in those societies, in those economies, whether it's silver nanoparticles, colloidal silver, silver used in technology for thermal conductivity, whether it's in the industrial use, the industries, whether they need it for laptops, cell phones, space equipment, dental alloys. It's really interesting because we're so used to, we're desensitized, we're stereotyped to a derivative that's putting silver extremely at an undervalued state, and we get used to that. And that's why $20 silver seems expensive to the everyday person. But really, if you could look at silver without the fiat currency, without the dollar detached, and look at how much 1 ounce of silver can do or can perform in a laptop or in a cell phone, I think we would see much, much more value. And that's the way I look at silver. When I look at 5 ounces of silver, I'm not looking at $100. I'm looking at something that's extremely or much more valuable than that because I'm looking at the bigger picture, the potential of it, the future value of it, what it can bring to the table and what it does bring to the table, which goes into my next point, its uses. Fiat currency is used in an economy or a society to purchase something as a promissory note saying that that thing that I'm giving my dollars to is worth or amounting to that much money. But the thing is over time, those things don't become more expensive. Gas didn't rise over the last 30 years. Our dollar is deflating. So it takes more of those dollars to purchase something that has the same value, that holds its value. And that's why we invest into silver, because no matter what our fiat currency does, our ounces of silver aren't just rapidly vanishing or just going away. The silver content, the metal value is always there. But I'm trying to pass this question to you, and I'm trying to break it down to strip your sense of the dollar away from silver so we can look at its actual price, the natural price of it. That's where the real magic can happen in the world of precious metals. Not ETFs, not any of that stuff, not silver certificates, not options markets, not futures contracts, none of that, but the physical aspect of it, the physical bullion. Have you ever held a 10-ounce bar in your hand? 10 ounces of silver is what? A couple $100 if that. Imagine holding a 10-ounce bar in your hand, or let's say $175 in the other hand. Which one do you think seems more valuable? If you've ever actually held a 10-ounce bar in your hand, it is heavy. It's very dense. It feels like money. It feels like it's actual value. $175 can pay what, a third of your month's rent, a fourth of it. Buying you a new pair of shoes in Starbucks for a week at most. But that 10 ounces of silver can perform and is used in so much in the world today. So why are we undervaluing something that's so valuable? And I haven't even talked about how much harder it is to come out of the ground when miners aren't making as many profits nowadays. And I'm not even talking about the gold to silver ratio or how how silver's price influences in an economy, whether it's in a good or bad state, the political parties involved, whether there's a silver shortage or not. That's a whole different category. That's a whole different subject we can jump into on top of this. This is just a board. This is just, this is the top shore of it. This is something that I haven't even scraped the surface into when we're really talking about the price or the factors that involve silver's price. So that can really show, I hope this shows that it really can be speculative on a monetary value, but it's intrinsic on a metal value. And that's the best way I can probably put it. But if I'm looking at silver's actual price, I would have to compare it to gold like I mentioned in my last video. And that's actually how this video got sparked, was because I was talking in my last video and I was talking about silver's natural price, and it sparked this video idea because it's really interesting to think about what would it be if gold was, let's say gold has a set price of $1,500, what would silver be? Because the gold to silver ratio is around what, 88 to 1 right now, which is actually pretty low for its, recent times. But if I was to do $1,500 as gold, and let's say silver's price, let's say silver, the gold to silver ratio is what, 70 to 1, then what would an an actual or a balanced ratio be for silver to be like $200? Because if I was to say that gold held its value at $1,500, which is pretty low for gold still, I think gold's natural price is probably around $3,000. That would probably bring silver to around $300 to $400 if the ratios wanted to be somewhat balanced or equivalent to each other. But I still think that there's more potential than that, especially heading in the next couple decades. Right now, I'm not saying that silver is worth $200. In an economy where our fiat currency is collapsing, our financial system is collapsing, the spot price of silver cannot be too much higher because our dollar is so worthless. But its actual value, from the futuristic standpoint, is worth a lot more. If you've looked at usdebtclock.org, it shows silver at like what, $800 right now. That's to hold it with a grain of salt, but that's looking at the price compared to a dollar in an overall standpoint, and it's really interesting. If you guys want to check that out, it shows what its value would be compared to a dollar, but the dollar is irrelevant right now because it's so worthless. So can we even attach a value to it? And that's the question I want to pass on to you guys, is what do you think silver's natural price is? What do you think its actual value is in a monetary form? And if you do, tell me in the comments below, why do you think that value is worth, that much? I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. I'm not going to turn this into a poll video, but I do want to pass the question on to you because it can be a very controversial topic for many different reasons. But the biggest factor for me, I think, is just, can silver amount to a dollar that's always losing its value because of hyperinflation? In a perfect world, if the dollar was, as strong as it was back in the day, it would be a lot easier, but I don't think that that's even possible nowadays. Or in a new economy, in a new society, if we did pick a different type of financial, system, what would it be then? would that make him more valuable, or would it be less valuable because that dollar's stronger in a world where we wouldn't? Well, I guess it depends. See, it's so, like, as I'm talking about it, I'm thinking of other reasons why that wouldn't work. So it really is a very complex, intricate topic, but I think it's cool and I think it's interesting to think about because it really does help us strip away our desensitization to the dollar in a in a market type of society. I think that's a really interesting and helpful and educational point of view to look at, to strip it away. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think this was one of my more interesting videos. I love this idea. It's something I think about a lot, and I think everyone else should as well. And it also reminds me of why I stack silver. You know, it reminds me of the key fundamental factors of why silver is valuable, even if spot price stays low. So anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe if you already haven't. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.